after the massacre of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. After the women are taken captive by the army of Yazid, after the tents have been burned and the bodies litter the sand, the dust of Karbala, the desert of Karbala is void of life. Nothing is there. No one is there. Only the scattered bodies of the Ansar, of the Ahlul Bayt and the Ahlul Bayt themselves. The body of Imam Hussein alayhi salam lies on the dust. Subhanallah, not only mutilated, they say his shirt was taken away from him, leaving him exposed. Imagine, naked, the grandson of the Prophet, lying on that dust. By the river, there are two severed hands, and a man who was once taller than anyone else, now cut up into pieces as he lies by the river. There is a young boy by the name of Al-Qasim ibn al-Hasan, who once when he would walk, his sword would drag upon the floor. And you can find him by seeing the turban of his father, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. Who comes now? Banu Asad. They come to Karbala and they see this place scattered with bodies. And they say, it is our duty to now bury these bodies. But they have a problem. What's the problem? They don't know which body belongs to which person. Why? Two reasons. Number one, every body is without a head. Imagine, Al-Qasim without a head, Abu Fadl without a head, Abu Abdullah without a head. They don't know which body belongs to which person. Where do we bury them? Whose grave? Whose name do we put on the grave? And then they see in the distance who? Miraculously, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam walking toward them. He tells them, I am the son of Abu Abdullah and I have come miraculously to help you bury the bodies and bury the body of Abu Abdullah, because only an Imam can bury an Imam. I want you to imagine the pain that Imam Sajjad must feel. Imagine picking up a body of a person that you love, placing it upon your shoulders and carrying him to a grave where you now have to bury him and place that dust upon the grave after everything you've seen. What does Imam Sajjad say? He says, how do I bury so many bodies? How do I bury so many bodies? Loved one after loved one, my shoulders carry. Such sorrow my shoulders carry. He says, my steps, they become heavier with walking. And with every step, I find that decades I am aging. I left the day of death while I was still living, and I return with death, heeding my wailing. The bodies that I see that scatter this land were once men who for prayer beside me would stand. That cheek, I once kissed it. That cheek, I once kissed it. Now it's one with the sands, and I once felt the warmth of those severed hands. There is no life here, just flesh upon spears, and the blood-stained bone can't be washed away by tears. What loss of life that my shoulders carry. Death is left in the open for burial. Life ascended from them all when they fell. To say goodbye, my tongue isn't able. For the bones of my loved ones, the dust calls. Habib, my elder, the grey beard bathed in blood. I lower my Zuhair into the mud. I kiss the cheek of Joan, just as Hussein would. He leaves me here to meet with my beloveds. All of them are gone, leaving me alone to bear such a weight that it bends my backbone. All alone my shoulders carry. I see that innocence was murdered upon that day. I tell you that innocence was murdered upon that day. Roses were crushed before taken away. Their juices bled blood red as swords would prey on mothers' love for sons, turning hair grey. What man should have to bury a young boy? What man should have to bury a young boy? I see his arms flail as my Qasim I carry. His grave no bigger than a teen's would be, but I'm sure, my beloved, it's filled with honey. You saw death sweeter than a bird's flutter. He asked, are you sure? And you did not stutter. My cousin, my shoulders carry. I saw a body that made me quiver. For a moment I thought I was in Medina. I saw a body that made me quiver. For a moment I thought that I was in Medina. Is that the body of Muhammad, my grandfather? Or is that the body of my brother Ali al-Akbar? Am I in Najaf? For surely this is Ali, struck upon his head and taken too early. Oh Allah, protect me, and oh Allah, forgive me. How does an Ali anyone bury? An Ali buried, and buried by an Ali. Could this be Najaf? Surely it must be. An Ali, my shoulders carry. Covered in dust, I turned toward the Furat. Covered in dust, I turned toward the Furat. But I saw blood all over me, on every part. I washed it all off before I depart. I washed it all off before I depart. Why? I did not want to break my Uncle Abbas's heart. I did not want to break my Uncle Abbas's heart. I found his left hand and then I searched for his right. I found his left hand and then I searched for his right, feeling my heart with the angel of death fight. You once towered over us, O Abbas. You once towered over us with your might, and yet there you lie handless, met with your plight. Our love for you grew, if only you knew. I found your canteen and I buried it with you. Abu Fadl, my shoulders carry. My eyes would have refused sight if they had known that my beloved father to me would be shown. My eyes would have refused sight had they known that my beloved father like this would be shown. His tongue still dry from thirst, left naked and alone. No longer Hussein, instead he is crushed flesh and bone. As best I can, I place him in his crypt. As best I can, I place him in his crypt and I tell him, my father Hussein, now you can finally rest. But I hear a voice scream from his severed neck. I hear a voice scream from his severed neck. He says, the baby, put the baby on my chest. The baby, put the baby on my chest. And I say, tell me, father, if I bring Asghar, your chest has been crushed, so how will he lay there? A baby, my shoulders carry. A baby, my shoulders carry. He says, how do I bury so many bodies? How do I bury so many bodies? Loved one after loved one, my shoulders carry. Such sorrow, my shoulders carry. Such sorrow, my shoulders carry.